Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a grand day. The heat is coming in. The humidity is coming in. By Friday, it's going to be 100 degrees here. And Friday is when I go pick up the pup. So, yeah, that's going to be something. I want to tell you about my day a little bit, but I first want to tell you, if you have a child between 15 and 25 right now, you need to rein them in and teach them how to be respectful. Okay? Everybody is so worried about political this and political that. Raise your children. If you're part of the Bible Belt and you want to be that Christian person that you want to profess to be, teach your children. Teach your children to be respectful. And when they go to do a job, they go to do that job. I worked myself at a dry cleaner through high school. It was it was so hot during the summertime in that place. I mean, there was no air conditioning. How can you have an air conditioning when you have presses running? But I never disrespected my customers. I never disrespected anybody as a young person. I wasn't taught that way. I guess there's something about being 53 years old. You can look back and go, well, way back when. And I don't want to be that kind of person. Them damn kids nowadays. That's not me. I don't do that. Okay? But they're different. I swear they're different. I swear they're different. I swear they're getting worse and worse. And I believe they're narcissistic. First of all, cut their phone time. Because do you know that when your child is driving through a drive-thru that they're so worried about that phone that they're not being polite and respectful to the people behind them? Because they're not paying attention. They don't care. There's been several times that I've gone through because I like to get really good drinks, like refreshing tea drinks or lemonade drinks or whatever. And I go through my drive-thrus and they'll make their order and they'll pull up just enough for you not to get your order in. And they will not move until the person in front of them is out of the drive-thru. This has happened on so many occasions with these young people and their phones. I'm telling you, please, instead of worrying about who everybody is voting for, raise your children. Make them respectful. If I ever even saw my husband being disrespectful, I would correct him like a child. Hey, did you forget your manners? Quit it. Don't do that. Don't say that. You need to get your children straightened out because they are the most narcissistic generation I've seen. They say that my generation was spoiled. Yeah, we might have been because our generation, our parents were the baby boomers. And they kind of got spoiled because it was after the Depression, after, the war, and everybody was having a heyday. And my mom did not grow up like that. But my dad, his mom and dad had a nice job and a brand new house in a subdivision, and they had everything they wanted until my grandpa drug them out into the middle of nowhere in an old piece of crap house with no plumbing. Of course, that later got fixed. But, teach kids respect. If you're with someone who's being disrespectful, get their attention. Say, listen, that's not right. And YouTubers that are disrespectful. I am very respectful of people who are respectful. I'm not respectful of people who are not. I try very hard to be nice to these young people, and they're just not nice. They don't care. Went into the pizza place, and, a bunch of kids running it. They're standing way in back, and they all looked around and looked at me standing there. And then finally, the guy at the oven hollered at her like, hey, there was no one else there. I shouldn't have left them $3 tip, but that's how I am, okay? There's no one sitting in the dining room. They're not making any tips. If they're making I just threw the $3 and change in their tip jar. Still, I thought I could buy respect from these kids. Not a chance. It wouldn't have made a difference if I had put that money in my pocket or if I gave it to them as a tip because I noticed there was no one in the dining room. Teach your kids respect. I was at a pet store and I'm looking for a doghouse. No one sells doghouses anymore. And if you want a doghouse, you got to go online, which I don't do that. So I'm really struggling with this. This is a real struggle to get a house for the goats and a house for the dogs. Yes, I know all the different things I can use, but what I'm trying to do is find something very light so that I can move it with my 10 by 10. Anyway, I know you can take a water thing and cut it, whatever. But one of the younger people, I am speaking to one of the employees, and she butts right in. Well, I have goats and you can just buy a shed. And if you buy a shed, then you can put air vents in it. I said, honey, I have a barn. I said, I'm looking for something just to keep them out of the rain or the snow when they're out in their grazing pen. Oh, well, then she walked away. And you know what? She looked at me later when I was getting ready to leave like I had disrespected her. I didn't disrespect you. I let you know that I knew what I was looking for. But thank you, because doing the shed thing is a great deal, right? But I have a barn. But she got upset because her idea wasn't going to work for me. I'm telling you, if you've got children out there between 15 and 25, and I say 25 as a child because they're still children. I was a child. I was a married child. Teach them respect. And if the companies that they're working for are allowing them to treat customers that way, they need to stop. And they need to teach their customers, teach their employees how to respect their customers. When I went through the drive-thru, I said, yes, and it was Dunkin' Donuts. And I drink a lot of iced coffee, but today I wanted one of those refreshing drinks they have with the green tea. I said, okay, so I'm looking for something other than coffee, and I'm thinking maybe this raspberry watermelon tea. I mean, is that somewhat good for you? I mean, I know there's sugar in it, but, is it? Well, no, there's sugar in it. Well, I know there's sugar in it. But, I mean, is the tea better than the lemonade? Is it going to have a factor in it? They don't even know their product. They don't care. They do not care. So, Dunkin' Donuts, Marco's Pizza, and then all the little bastards that were driving around. Teach your children and teach them good. Something else I want you to notice. Have you noticed all the cars driving behind me? Keep noticing, okay? Because it's 30 miles per hour on this road. When I called highway department, they said, well, we've got a sign out there. You've got a sign way around the corner. By the time they hit the top of that hill to come down it, they've done forgot what they've seen. Or they didn't see it at all because they were on their phone. Okay, here comes the car. Ready? Let's see. That is not 30 miles per hour. And those were actually slower than most of them. So just kind of keep an eye on it. Dog warden. I called the dog warden this morning and I said, listen, I saw y'all drive by yesterday. And I said, I don't know how you can see a dog at 30 miles per hour. Well, is it the one that doesn't have a tail? We saw it. No, this dog has a tail. It's not tied up. It's still out here. They show up. He parks up there at the driveway where the dog hangs out when she's at work or in bed. And he calls and says, well, we see her. We can't get her. I'm like, duh. We've all been trying for 2.5 weeks to get her. Well, I said, hold on, let me get some clothes on. I'll run. I just got out of the shower. I was like, oh my God. So I go walking up the road and I meet him and he says, well, I really don't want to put my $750 trap out here because someone might steal it. Is it or is it not to catch the dogs that are loose? That is a county loss. That is not a loss for your pocket. No one's going to steal his trap right here. There's only 4 or 5 houses right here. We all know each other. We're all worried about this dog. And you're worried about a $750 trap. So what I am going to do is I'm going to be calling the board. I know the vet very well that runs that county's board. And I will be calling him and let him know how stupid his dog warden is. I didn't say ignorant, stupid. You know why? Because he didn't leave it where I told him to leave it. I said, well, leave it on his property. I said, she hangs down here. Well, she's always up here when we see her. How in the hell did you see her? You drove past yesterday at 40 miles an hour. Which is why I'm getting to this point. You can't drive a van at 30 miles per hour and expect to see a dog that steps out of the bushes as soon as you drive past. Oh, yeah. I swear to God, today is Monday times 2. Because that's not all. Took Raven to the vet, and I get there and I sit down in the waiting room and it's air conditioned. I'm like, oh God, thank you. And she says, well, what's the appointment? I said 11:15 for Raven. She says, it was yesterday. I was like, what? I'm telling you, I'm not the same person that I used to be. I can't keep things straight. Numbers, times, dates. I have a book and I try to write in as much as I can, but you know, I'm human. But I'm a human with a deficit right now. So I waited for 2 people to go through and she slid me in just to do a quick check on her, you know, because it was just a recheck on her skin situation, which is doing better. I don't like it because it doesn't look pretty. Okay, so we get done there and we go into Tractor Supply and, you know, she's protective of Mom. When she notices someone's coming towards me, yeah, she makes a bark. She's got her tail wagging because she's just letting you know, this is my mom, just letting you know. And so they fussed over her and let her pick out a couple bones for her and her sister, which I was like, thanks. There's $24 I'll never get back. But anyway. Then I took her to Dollar General and she did very well at Dollar General. She did bark a couple of times at people, but she had her tail wagging. Awesome. Get her home and she's ready to like relax. Well, Onyx is jumping up and down and trying to go through the door. And I thought, okay, she's got to pee. No. She tries to drag me to the car. I weigh twice or a lot more than her. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So I needed to go do a Coke deal, Coca-Cola deal, soda pop deal. I got to really watch sometimes because sometimes I say stuff I don't even think about it. But anyway, I thought, okay, I'll take her with me. So went up there and she rides really well. I mean, she actually settles in a little better than Raven because Raven wants to see everything that's going on. So anyway, watch this. Was that 30 miles an hour? Okay, so anyway, take her and I take her around back in the grassy area, and she wanted no part of it. So I'm walking her through the Dollar General. We're going directly to the pop, and then I was going to do a quick run around so that way she had a little bit more cart experience when I take her in there. And she did very, very well with the cart, by the way, but she pooped in the floor. This is the dog that I swear is autistic. I swear she is autistic. I just swear she's autistic. She has sensory issues. She also has separation anxiety and anxiety alone. And she pooped in the Dollar General floor. I was like totally embarrassed. I'm screaming. I'm yelling for the manager. She went 1 or 2, and I went 2, and she went no. So I mean, she's going to be a service dog, but she pooped in the floor. Yeah, it was Monday times 2. But it's really not a good time for a bunch of people to come through because I don't know what time it is. I can't tell you, but this is crazy. I wanted you to see. And the highway department guy told me when I called him, well, we have one sign up there. Ooh. Yeah. People, children, young adults. Why? Why? That's it. Oh, and I went out to go get Crookshank, and he's trying to mount Chicopee. Chicopee went to him. Oh my God. He was still in his building, in the office building where I put him, and I have like a slider thing that I put in front of it. It's wire so you can see through it. It's a kennel divider, if you know what that is. And I put it there at the door so that way no one can get into him before I bring him out to his outside area. And I had opened it because I kind of wanted him to come out on his own, see what he would do. And I walk out there, and there he is trying to mount Chicopee. Chicopee had went to Crookshank as her new rooster this morning. This is a bonkers place, and it's about to get better because Friday is dog, and then once I get him in, then I got to go pick up the goats. I got to go pick up those goats because I want them to learn me. They're really pretty young right now, but I still want them to be friendly with me. I want them to learn a routine with the dog. And so I've got to go get them right away, which means I got to get some areas cleaned up for them. It's a lot of work, and it's so hot right now. It's just such a bad time. This is not my time. Even as a kid, I hated greenhouse work. I hated summer. I was not a summer person, even as a kid. I would go try to work in the fields and do hay, and I would end up with like sunstroke or heat stroke and go and puke for a couple of hours and try to rehydrate. I would get dehydrated so quickly. I've never been a summer person. That's why I hate summer. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for listening. Bye, y'all. Hugs from a distance.